The idea of doing a gap year can seem quite scary and intimidating, so today we're going to talk through the pros and cons of doing a gap year. I've just come back from my gap year. I spent 3 months teaching with Africa Asia Venture. I spent 1 month travelling and 1 month working with wild elephants in the desert, and I'm going to tell you why you should definitely do a gap year. So, first pro is you're only young once / you only live once. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity where you don't have anything tying you down, no mortgage, no kids, no financial commitments, no job that you have to stay in the same place. This is your opportunity to travel the world and to see new places. Technically, you can do it after you've done your degree, you can take a sabbatical, or you can do it when you're retired. But you are the youngest you will be right now, okay? You have a lot more financial freedom now to spend on travelling and exploring the world and taking a gap year. So that is a massive pro to why you should do one. The second big pro is that this is an opportunity to carve out 5, 6, 7 months to a year worth of travelling to explore a completely new place, different part of the world that you've never seen before, or you might have only seen a glimpse of. This is an opportunity to not just go on a safari and do typical things you might do as a tourist, but to really get to know the area that you're staying, to explore all the different areas of it, and to really grow love for that place. Another massive pro is it's a completely immersive experience. You've never done, or I had never done anything like this before. You're teaching kids, you're immersed in the local community, you make new friends, you're away from all your old friends and family, and you get really stuck in. It's very rewarding as well because you get to watch the kids grow and you get to form a relationship with them and watch them improve in the subjects you're teaching them. You feel like you have made an impact on them, which is really, really special, and it's an amazing feeling. Another pro is the absolute amazing stories you come home and you get to tell. So while I was travelling, I spent a month in Namibia working with wild elephants in the desert, and I got to see a 2-day-old elephant, which was absolutely extraordinary. And I now get to go home and tell everyone about those experiences. Those once-in-a-lifetime unique stories that you only get to experience if you have done something like this or travelled the world on your gap year. Another super amazing experience that I would have only got to do if I'd taken a gap year was climbing Mount Kenya. That was so surreal and absolutely amazing. Stunning views at 6 o'clock in the morning, summiting, and yeah, I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't have taken a gap year, so that's another thing. For me personally, a massive pro was the developmental skills I would gain doing a gap year. So for me, I'd never spent that much time away from my family. So doing a gap year forced me into a situation where I had to do independence, I had to learn independence. I was responsible for what I ate, I was responsible for my washing, I was responsible for everything about me, which may not be the case in a lot of other people, but for me it was a first time experience to have all of that on myself, and it taught me a lot about myself and it taught me how to look after myself. It also means that when I came home, I'm now a lot more independent in terms of sorting myself out and what I eat and when I wash my clothes and all of that stuff, which also means that when I go to uni, I can spend more time making friends than having to worry about, oh my gosh, I've never had to cook for myself before, I've never had to be completely independent, because I've already had that experience, so it's slightly less overwhelming. The last massive pro I'll say on taking a gap year is the developmental skills and what you can put on your CV. Obviously, getting to travel is an absolute privilege and is very expensive. However, there are lots of skills that do come out of having an experience like this. Lots of transferable skills that then can be applied to your work later in life, and it's something that you can put on your resume or CV to show your employers that you have that extra experience. Like saying that you worked in the desert with elephants, it's pretty cool, pretty unique thing to add. Okay, now let's talk about cons of doing a gap year and why they shouldn't hold you back. Okay, first main con that I think is stopping the majority of people is that it's massively expensive, and I completely get that. Yes, it is very expensive, and having been someone who paid for mine entirely myself, I do get that. However, it is completely doable. There's a video on the AV website or Instagram that talks through budgeting techniques you can use to help you pay for it. You can also carve out 3 to 4 months from September to the middle of January if you do the same project that I did, or before you go traveling, to help you fund it yourself. There are also other things you can do. You can have a job during school time to save money on the side if you want slightly longer. But the fact that it's expensive shouldn't be something holding you back, because even though it is, obviously, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience and you'll come back rich in experiences. You're also, as I said at the start of the video, at a unique point in your life where you probably can afford to take out that amount of money from earning, and you won't have any bills, any mortgage, anything tying you down that you also have to pay while you're traveling, if that makes any sense. Another main con is that people are excited for uni and they just want to get straight into it. I completely get that. When I was at the start of my gap year and all of my friends were at uni, I was so excited and all I wanted to do was go to uni. But uni will stay. Uni will always be there. Uni will always be there. Uni's not going to leave. If you can defer your place or you can reapply. It also means that when you're going through UCAS in year 13, you do have that freedom of being like, okay, well, I can always reapply. The last con I put down here is going with the crowd. So if lots of your friends aren't doing a gap year, you may not want to do one. This shouldn't hold you back. You're going to make the most amazing friends on your gap year. All of my friends went straight to uni and it didn't hold me back. And I know it's scary and I know it's a big step to be different and to take a gap year, but you won't regret it. As you can tell, I'm clearly very pro gap year because I just had the most amazing time. So that is why you should take a gap year.